Welcome to my Week 11 playoff projections. Let's start with the AFC. We have a new projected #1 seed in the AFC. After their road win in Tampa and taking care of business against the Jets on TNF, the New England Patriots are my projected top seed and have an 87% chance to make the playoffs. The Patriots have now won 8 in a row and have 2 more winnable games against the Bengals and Giants before their Week 14 bye. The Bills' division loss to the Dolphins last week puts New England in firm control of the AFC East.
Touchdown, Patriots! You gotta be kidding me.
The Indianapolis Colts head into their bye with a 91% chance of making the playoffs. The Colts bye comes at a good time for a reset. Daniel Jones started off the season hot, but he's fumbled 6 times and thrown 4 interceptions in Indy's last 2 games. He's going to need to take better care of the football moving forward for the Colts to reach their goals. The Denver Broncos have a 74% chance to make the playoffs and are my projected 3 seed in the AFC. The Broncos have won 7 straight and have a huge game against the Chiefs at Mile High Sunday. If they're able to win, they'll be 3 up in the loss column on Kansas City, meaning their 9-year reign of the AFC West dominance will likely end this season with Sean Payton's team in the driver's seat to host a playoff game. The Baltimore Ravens have a 71% chance to make the playoffs. Baltimore continues to lead my AFC North projections after picking up their 3rd win in a row against the Vikings. Their big games start this week in Cleveland, as John Harbaugh's team has only played 1 division game to this point in the season. They have both matchups remaining with both the Steelers and Bengals.
Touchdown, Mark Andrews!
The Buffalo Bills have a 78% chance to make the playoffs. They're currently projected as my 5 seed and would travel to Baltimore in an amazing wildcard quarterback matchup between Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. Buffalo was riding high after a huge win against the Chiefs, only to lay an egg in Miami and lose to the Dolphins. The schedule doesn't get easier with their next 3 games against the Buccaneers, Texans, and Steelers. The Kansas City Chiefs have a 71% chance to make the playoffs. 3 of the Chiefs' 4 losses this season are to other teams in the AFC wildcard picture, which will not help if it comes down to tiebreakers. Andy Reid is 22-4 in his career after a bye, and this week's game is a big one in Denver. The Los Angeles Chargers have a 53% chance to make the playoffs, and I currently have them projected as the 7th seed. LA picked up a big win Sunday night against Pittsburgh and have now won 3 straight after losing 3 of their prior 4 games. They have another big matchup in Week 11 against a team in the AFC wildcard race in Jacksonville prior to their Week 12 bye.
What did I tell you? I told you.
The Pittsburgh Steelers are the first team on the outside looking in with a 50% chance to make the playoffs and now do not hold the tiebreaker with LA. Pittsburgh has been extremely reliant on takeaways in all 3 of their quality wins this season, with 5 against the Patriots, 2 against the Vikings, and 6 against the Colts. Mike Tomlin's team needs to find more consistency, especially on offense, if they're going to string together enough wins down the stretch. The Houston Texans have a 49% chance to make the playoffs. Houston overcame a 19-point fourth-quarter deficit last week against the Jaguars and may have flipped both team seasons in the process. DeMeco Ryans' team gets the Titans in Week 11 before a tough stretch against the Bills, Colts, and Chiefs. Jacksonville has just a 40% chance of making the playoffs. Just a brutal loss for the Jaguars in Houston last week. Liam Cohen's team would have swept the season series and stayed undefeated in the AFC South. And now they have a tough test against a Chargers team that's found its footing. Jacksonville needs to win the games they should down the stretch if they're going to make the tournament, with 2 remaining games against the Titans, along with matchups against the Cardinals and Jets upcoming. The Cincinnati Bengals have a 22% chance to make the playoffs. Joe Burrow returned to practice and is ahead of schedule in his return to action. It's not impossible for Cincy to win the AFC North, but the Bengals' 2 excruciating losses prior to their bye look even worse after the Steelers' loss in LA. They're 2-0 in division, and a win in Pittsburgh Sunday would give them the head-to-head tiebreaker over Mike Tomlin's team, with both matchups against the Ravens still on the schedule. Moving over to the NFC. The Philadelphia Eagles continue to be projected as my top seed in the NFC after a great road win at Lambeau Field. They have a 91% chance to make the playoffs. The Eagles' schedule lightens up after this week's huge matchup against the Lions.
Passion, energy, enthusiasm. All of it, every play.
The Seattle Seahawks are my projected 2 seed in the NFC. The Seahawks obliterated the Cardinals Sunday, going up 35-0 midway through the second quarter. Seattle travels to LA for their first of 2 matchups this season with the Rams. Matchups which will go a long way in determining which one takes the division.
DeMarcus Lawrence, his second touchdown of the game.
The Detroit Lions have an 81% chance to make the playoffs and are currently my projected 3 seed. Detroit took over first place in the NFC North with the Packers' loss to the Eagles Monday. Those teams face off again in Week 13, aka Thanksgiving. Dan Campbell took over play calling on offense last week, and the Lions looked great, getting back to basics with much more under center and play action.
Touchdown, Detroit Lions! J-Mo flips into the end zone.
Even after a tough loss, Tampa Bay remains projected to win the NFC South and earn the 4 seed with a 90% chance to make the playoffs. The Buccaneers' 3 losses this season are against the Eagles, Lions, and Patriots. They have 2 more tough games against the Bills and Rams over the next 2 weeks before the schedule opens up down the stretch. Todd Bowles' team should comfortably win the division. The LA Rams have a 76% chance to make the playoffs. The Rams may be the best team in football right now, but 2 games remaining against Seattle, along with tough games against the Buccaneers and Lions, land them as a projected wildcard team. This would set up a matchup with Tampa to open up the playoffs, a place they won en route to the Super Bowl 4 years ago.
Hey, great job today, man. Love playing with you guys. It's a hell of a lot of fun, man. Let's get it going for next week, huh?
The Green Bay Packers have a 74% chance to make the playoffs. I currently have them projected as the 6th seed, setting up a 3rd matchup of the season with the Lions. Green Bay has now lost consecutive games and looks lost on offense. Losing Tucker Kraft was huge, and now center Elton Jenkins has also landed on IR. Matt LaFleur's team needs to get it together quickly as they still have 5 games left against what's likely the best division in the NFL. The San Francisco 49ers have a 65% chance to make the playoffs. Kyle Shanahan's team just doesn't have any answers on defense right now without Nick Bosa and Fred Warner. They should have some time to figure it out, though, with games against the Cardinals, Panthers, and Browns prior to their Week 14 bye. If they can get to 9-4, they'll almost assuredly make the playoffs. The Bears are the first team I have on the outside looking in the NFC, with a 44% chance to make the playoffs. Chicago is an impressive 6-3, but doesn't yet have a quality win. None of the teams they beat this season have even 4 wins. Ben Johnson's team will get their chance, though, against the Vikings, Steelers, Eagles, and Packers in the next 4 weeks. The Vikings have a 27% chance to make the playoffs and have a chance to expedite their rise starting this week as they take on the aforementioned Bears. Minnesota's offense looks disjointed with J.J. McCarthy under center. Kevin O'Connell needs to get that unit back on track quickly with games against the Bears, Packers, and Seahawks over the next 3 weeks. The Panthers laid an egg Sunday against the Saints and now sit at 5-5 with a 17% chance to make the playoffs. Considering the remaining schedule, it's going to be tough for Bryce Young and team to make the playoffs. The Dallas Cowboys have a 16% chance to make the playoffs. Dak Prescott and company come out of the bye with a winnable game in Vegas against the Raiders before starting a 5-game gauntlet against the Eagles, Chiefs, Lions, Vikings, and Chargers. The Washington Commanders have a 14% chance to make the playoffs. The team received positive news on Jaden Daniels' elbow injury last week, and he didn't need to be placed on IR. If Dan Quinn's team is going to compete for the playoffs, they're going to need their franchise quarterback back on the field in short order. The Atlanta Falcons have a 13% chance of making the playoffs. Raheem Morris's team has lost 4 straight, going from 3-2 to where they sit now at 3-6. And those are my Week 11 playoff projections powered by AWS.